Welcome to Chi-Town Cigar Podcast, the podcast where three Chicago guys light up a fine cigar and get into everything from sports and current events to hobbies, life's little moments, and everything in between. Whether you're here for the cigars, the conversation, or just some good laughs, we got you covered. So grab your favorite smoke, settle in, and join us for laid-back chats with a Chicago twist. Now it's time to put some smoke in the air.
It's Tuesday night in the Windy City, so it's time for another episode of the Chi-Town Cigar Podcast. Welcome back, and whether you're hanging with us live or catching us on the replay on Spotify or Apple, we're glad you're here. I'm Mike, broadcasting you live from the Agrinorsa Studios in Central Illinois. Fellas, ready to light it up and get one going?
Heck yes.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. So we're starting out. Teddy's not with us tonight. He's stuck working. That FedEx job has demanded that it's the holiday season, so he has been banished back to work. So he'll be joining us in a couple of weeks. But for the holiday season, I think we're going to see him MIA.
I was going to tell people that he was an elf. And the big man was putting the screws to him and this started out.
That's right. The big man's holding him down. But we're welcoming in DJ Eli right away. I mean, because even our pre-mission discussion, he's about as big of a Bears fan, I think, as the rest of us are. And I mean, right now, boys, we are sitting in first place.
Kings of the North.
Come
Kings
on.
of the North.
I'm telling you. But besides me needing more heart medication, you know, it's. I mean, come on. Who would have thought this? 7-3.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard some shit. People are like, you know, but the opponents are all the way it's getting done, or all the. I'm like, I'll take an ugly one over an ugly loss. I go, and at the same token, I says, we got to get acclimated. You know, we got that football battered syndrome where we're used to these games going, and right off the bat, if we're losing, we're like, we're done, even though there's 3 quarters left. It wasn't it's over when the fat lady sings. We knew before the fat lady got ready to sing, it was over. So now it feels different to get acclimated to this new culture they have, where Ben still's got these guys fighting. Whether look at that punt return, you know, like where he's going ahead and he's gunning it at the end, like still playing with heart. These guys would tap out and they're like, I'm done. Yeah. And so it's just, we got to get used to that, and I'm getting used to it just fine, like I said. And I mean, look at it. They were doing stats today on 670 The Score, talking about that Kansas City Chiefs team that went to the Super Bowl. All their games last season were 1-score games. Yeah, people don't realize that and I think some people get blinded by the fact of like blowouts and airing the ball out and just straight points and touchdowns. No, you could just manage a game just fine as long as we stay as contending and we got a good record, and at least we get into the playoffs. I will be happier than a pig in shit.
Wait, playoffs? We're talking about that in Chicago right now. We're talking about the playoffs. Ben Johnson's first season, Caleb Williams' second season. I'm like, come on, you know, we're in the spot where we're going, are you kidding me? You know, and all these broadcasters are backtracking now. I mean, I'm looking at some of the stuff Colin Hurd. I mean, it started the season, these guys were bashing Caleb, and now it's in like, well, wait a minute here. Ben Johnson's got this guy develop a little bit here, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's what we needed. I haven't felt this confidence since the Lovie Smith era. You know, Lovie Smith was a real great coach, but even he had his quirks, and he was more the defensive guy that really, you know, was kind of 2 cards to his chest and didn't show emotion.
So good offensive coordinator. So this is the sweet spot now.
Mm-hmm. It is the sweet spot with DA and Ben Johnson. I think it's good, and I think even if we don't, and again, I'm Bears meatball, so I'm always Super Bowl bound every year. But even if we not, I know at least next year with next year's draft and the fact that now you're making that team an area where free agents want to come. Oh, you know, like I've got to meet a couple of football players at the big trade shows. And when I mention I'm from Chicago, mention whatever, and even though they're playing for these other teams, they'll be like, man, that's a tough organization out there. Those owners are this, and that, or nobody doesn't really want to go for free agency over there. It's like a last ditch effort if you want to go get the bag and go get that money. So hearing that from guys that were in the league and guys that are retired that I met, I'm like, fuck. So now it feels good to hear, wait a second, man, if I'm a free agent, maybe I'll make my way down to Chicago. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, there's just an aura. And I mean, it's like, even I love watching his locker room talks after the game. And I mean, he's just got the guys fired up. It's like going, okay, hey, we're ready. You know, okay, we're ready. You know, we'll come back and we're ready for the next opponent. And we got Pittsburgh this week, and it breaks my heart to say Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be playing.
I wish he was.
I would have liked to have seen him play just to be able to see if we could handle him.
Did
but
they
it's not going
officially
to make me
rule that
sad.
out? Like earlier today, they were saying he still might play.
They're teeter-tottering. There's some reports that tomorrow, when they got to release the injury report, we'll hear more. So some people are saying wrap up the hand and get your ass out there, and some are just saying hold on, take it easy. They don't want to. But I think for him, maybe in his mind, because he's got that, oh, I'm the Bears owner, he's going to probably want to get out there. Plus, our guys are chomping at the bit to get to him, and it'd be another great thing to see them do to him what they did to Favre when Favre came in town. And that was Corey Wooten took him out. It'd be great to see them take out Rodgers at the end. That would be.
He also doesn't have like a wait till next year. Like this might not be next year at your age.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Val, I don't know about that. I don't know if it was a lucky W. I think, like DJ was saying, these guys are playing with heart. They're playing the full game. They are not stopping. So I'm not going to say it's a lucky win. I think it was just a matter of
luck
these guys
happens to
kept
the
playing.
people who put themselves in position to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
You said it.
We haven't been.
And
Marty,
You're
you
right.
said it.
I've absolutely been having to walk people through. It's okay to start believing a little bit. We're not. We've had this mental abuse for so many years. It's like it's okay. This is different. You can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's again, is that we have a quarterback. We have a quarterback and we have a coach that likes passing plays. Come on. For a long time there, we dealt with the coach that just didn't like passing plays. Third down would come and be like, okay, here, it's 3rd and 12. We're going to run it.
Screen.
Yeah, exactly.
You have complimentary football where you're passing it and you're running the ball. And that's what you want. You want a little bit of dose of both that wears down that defensive line as you're on the offensive side. So I think, Ben's smart at what he's doing. He's not going to jeopardize. Look at it. I mean, look at going into fourth quarter still with 3 timeouts. He knows how precious timeouts are. That just shows you it's a competent coach finally that's managing the clock and managing the timeouts like the way you're supposed to do. And I like I said, I'm here for it.
And I gotta say, I think what he did with Cairo Santo to put him in that spot on Sunday, said, okay, yeah, you missed one. I don't care. That's over and done with. You're up. And the game's on your shoulders, bro. And let's see what you can do. And he did it. And I think that's a boost for Cairo to go, wait a minute here. My coach has got faith in me. It wasn't like, hey, we could run one more play and call a quick timeout. It's we're putting you up, and this is it. You're gonna make that kick. And I like that. I like that to go, okay, hey, I got faith in you. You can do it. You can do it. Go out there, win it for us. And he did. So it's great. It's absolutely great. So Sammy Flo, good to see you, my brother.
Hey, the Barber and Cigar Company. Shout out to the guys. Keeping everybody always fresh. Him and his team at the Lions Den are some awesome folks, man. Shout out to Sammy.
Sammy's a great guy. Sammy's a great guy. We got Wilson. What's going on there, Wilson? One of our Chicago guys.
All right.
Yeah. So I guess before we get too far, what are you guys smoking? What are you drinking? Marty, what are you smoking? What are you drinking?
I am smoking a Liga Privada T52.
Oh, nice.
This thing is like billowing big clouds of smoke. I'm not used to it when I'm broadcasting here. So
yeah.
But yeah, these are good. This one's been aging a while.
Great cigar.
T52 is great.
Yeah. Eli, what are you smoking?
Bit of bourbon.
Oh, what's Marty? Hold on. What are you drinking, Marty? Which bourbon are you drinking?
This is Starlight Distillery double oaked.
Oh, nice.
Very good. Very good. So I decided depending on how long, because sometimes I do tend to smoke a little fast. Sometimes I did a 2 cigar choice. I'm starting it off with the Year of the Rat by Drew Estate, which is one of my favorite cigars. So I had to go ahead and that. And obviously we're on a Chi-Town podcast. I got a Patina Eviso on deck for my next one. Shout out to Mo.
Yeah.
So I got to make sure if I'm still here and I'm done with this, I could clip and go to the next one. And then again, being that I am on the show with you guys, I'm so excited to be here, especially for a local Chi-Town show. I had to break out a little bit of a special bourbon of what I have left of my Pappy 15.
Oh,
so, I had to just go ahead and get a nice pour. I only do that. That's like the little celebration pour. So Marty, Mike, cheers to you. I appreciate you guys having me tonight. I'm really looking forward to an awesome show.
Cheers. You're living large tonight.
That's awesome. I pulled out the UF13. Oh, this one was sitting there, and I think this is actually a win that I got from Bob the Cigar Guys, or from the First Ladies podcast a couple months ago.
Oh,
I think
okay.
this is one of the cigars that came in that bundle. But this thing, yeah, this is a smoking powerhouse. Yeah, you got to keep pushing my way through the clouds there. And then
That's what.
I'm doing a Tennessee whiskey. I picked this up. I was in Tennessee for my son's wedding back in August, and so I picked up a bottle of Tennessee whiskey that I have blazed through in the last couple of weeks. That I'm sorry to see it go, but I needed something that was going to pair well with this UF13. So I'm excited. So
Sweet.
yeah.
So we
Let's
got
see what else we got. Oh,
TX is doing a gold star.
Mm.
David K is doing an Ezra Zion blending session and some Buffalo Trace.
Nice.
Buffalo
Great.
Trace is just a true good bourbon always drink. Their shit's always on point.
Yeah,
And-
it's good.
Fireborn is repairing his toilet.
That's always fun.
It scares me about why you're repairing your toilet.
And hopefully the water's clear.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, Fireborn's as a bachelor, so whatever's broken in that there's only one person to blame. So you can't say the kids did it. So, well, DJ, tell it. I mean, so you're from the Chicago area. We absolutely love you. You're all over social media, but give people that don't know about you a little bit of your background.
We got to play the mission.
Oh, I guess we do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we're going to play the mission media.
Hold on a second.
What's our mission? Even though you already told everyone.
I know. Hold on a second. Let's do our mission here. You gotta love our mission. All that Chicago highlights right in there. So our mission is our continuing desire to discover Chicago and Illinois natives that are influential in the cigar industry. And I don't think, I mean, we've had some brands on, we've had some reps on. DJ is DJ. I mean, it's just like, he's the DJ for Drew Estates. And I don't think there's anything bigger. I mean, one of the biggest brands around, one of the, I call them one of the godfathers of the industry, because you can have the Padrones, you can have all those things. But I mean, talking to Jonathan when I did 17, 18 years ago, whatever it was, he bottom line told me, my cigars are for the working man. It's for the everyday guys, and I mean, and that's us. There's no millionaires in our group, although I think at times Fireborn is up there in that group of those that are better off than most of us. But for the most part, yeah, Drew Estates is the working man cigar. So we're grateful to have you on. So again, tell us about your background, how you got into cigars, and how you got into music, or how you got into DJing.
Yeah, so born and raised in Chicago, moved around a lot with the family. Main neighborhoods I hung out were where I was raised is Humboldt Park, followed by the Logan Square, and then wrapped up in the Belmont Cragen neighborhood. Before the 2000s, my father ended up moving near Melrose Park, and my mom got a house near that area. So yeah, Chicago in my bloodline, like I said. So I actually got into cigars about 2006, 2007. The story goes, I was reading at the time, it was a hip hop magazine called Double XL. And I would see these ads in there with this guy on this motorcycle and Acid Cigars. And later to find out it's Scott Chester and Acid Cigars what they are. So a buddy of mine, I'm looking at it and I go, man, I really want to, I don't smoke at that time. So mind you, by that time I was already starting a tour out on the road. I was DJing nightclubs, and I've never drank a sip of alcohol, never did any drugs, never did any tobacco, nothing. I was as straight edge as could be.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy goes, no, he goes, man, he goes, matter of fact, he goes, I smoke acid. He's like, I'll bring you one. He goes, but if I bring it to you, he's like, you got to smoke it. If you don't, I won't lose a lot of money on it. It's like a $4 cigar. So he brings me two. He brings me the cold infusion acid and the acid blondie. I smoked the blondie and I got hooked.
Yeah.
And then from there on, I ended up, growing into the other acid lines when they would do their subculture drops. Like we talked earlier in the pre-show about like the acid Chi Town, and
Hmm.
I was acid centric. And then shortly after got into Herrera, Esteli, Undercrown, and then it also spiraled out into the other brands and the others areas, and I was able to be like, all right, cool. So as my palate grew, I grew with my palate and got to start trying other cigars more on the traditional side. I bounce back and forth once in a while. If I just want something out there, I'll go ahead and light an acid. I'll go ahead and light a Java, or I'll go ahead and one of the Deadwood Sisters, which I know that's not really an infused cigar. It's aromatic pipe tobacco,
Hmm.
but still something that's got a little sugar tip in it. And yeah, I still go back to the roots and smoke that. Otherwise, I smoke a lot of traditional cigars. I'm a big self-proclaimed broadleaf junkie. I love a broadleaf cigar
Yeah.
next to a Mexican San Andreas wrapper cigar. Those are kind of like my top two. So yeah, that's how my journey got into cigars and then DJing as a kid. When you grow up and you're very fortunate to grow up in Chicago and you listen to Chicago music, and whether it was WBBMX or it was B96, you had the mix master DJs, the Hot Mix Five, you had your Fat Boy Bills, Julian Jumper Perez, Tim Spin and Sharmer, Too Cool Chris, like Bobby D's. I could go on forever.
Wow.
Um, I always liked listening to their music, and then Friday nights we would hang out. We lived off of Fullerton and Cicero Avenue on a street called Lamont,
Yeah.
and our apartment building was there. My uncle would have his trunk open on Fridays or Saturday nights, and they're all having beers and hanging out, playing music, and these guys would come on to mix. And just when they would put on songs to see everybody go, oh, like I go, man, I that's such a feeling to give, and people, like I want to give that feeling. So then it was at that point I got on the tracks, and I'm like, man, I want to learn DJing. And another uncle of mine knew a bunch of DJs, had equipment. Of course, I'm being a little butthead, messing around, trying to follow him around and whatever. And um, yeah, it grew from there. And by the time high school came, I was dead set. I said, man, this is what I want to do. And I started doing house parties. And then I hooked up with an artist by the name of Mars,
Mhm.
who was a local Chicago rapper who was signed to a couple of different major labels. And he decided to go independent. And he took me under his wing and took me on the road. And then once I got a taste of the road, it was addicting. And then I'm a big networker. So then once I got out there, my body of work spoke for itself, or whether we were opening up for acts or hopping on tours, those guys, that's how I met Paul Wall and Tech Nine, and there's a laundry list of artists that I got to work with and tour with. They would say, "Hey, man, we're gonna go on tour. Can you be an opening DJ for us?" Or they would go ahead and say, "Hey, can you do my set?" And again, I had my whole pick a litter for road life and being out on the road doing that and doing nightclub stuff. And then where merges the rubber meets the road with Drew Estate, I met JD. I've met him a few times. Never ever did I go to him and say, hey man, uh let me DJ for you. Hey man, like I just didn't. He would have a big boom box and we would talk about music, and then he seen my stuff online, and then I like the second or third time I think I ran into him, he goes, how come you didn't fucking tell me you DJ? And I go, JD, I didn't, that's not, we were talking cigars.
Right.
And he goes, I got ideas, and and this mind's always running.
Hmm.
And I was given the opportunity by a gentleman named Josh Roque and Ben Pearson to do the UF4 release party at Casa de Monte Cristo in Countryside, because
Yeah.
JD would do the UF4 there Halloween every year. That was my test run. Um, I did the party. I'm like, everything's going great. And I tell this part of the story where JD leans over to me and he goes, it's a wrap. And then turned around and kept talking to people. So I feel like it's a wrap. I go, fuck, did I fuck something up? Like where I come from, it's a wrap means like it's done. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
So he keeps going. Excuse me. The event goes past 10 o'clock. Now we're getting to 11:30. He's Gary, his dad's there, and I go, well, he's feeling it, so maybe he meant good by that. And sure enough, it was. When the night ended, he goes, man, I haven't stood long at an event like that in forever. He goes, the music was phenomenal. He goes, we're gonna work on some things. And then I was later approached by a gentleman by the name of Dirty Fabian, who's now with Agranosa. And Dirty
Yeah.
Fabian says, hey man, I'm in charge of doing these events, and we're gonna do a trade show, and we got barn smokers, and we want to somehow get you involved in that. And I said, I'm there, man. And I remember telling JD this. I said, man, you're gonna throw me the ball. I'm gonna hit home runs for you every time. And the trade shows and TPE and the PCA and everything just started rolling. And then as we started doing it became a big thing for the Acid 25th anniversary. I became the official Acid 25th anniversary DJ, which before I became the official Drew Estate DJ, which for me was a full circle moment because I smoked acid, and that was the first cigar I smoked. So to celebrate the 25 years and to be their official 25th anniversary DJ was huge to me. So I killed all those events, did a real great job to where the point to where from that point on, JD's like, anywhere that I come out, and I don't come out as much as I used to, I don't pound the pavement as much as I used to, because he's like, I got Pedro that's out there now. He's obviously has Izzy that's out there. He's like, I need you on deck. And yeah, and that's where we're at today. Now I do all the bond smokers or side events with best cigar prices and the Great Lakes Cigar Fest with the guys over at Wild Bills, and
Yeah.
it's been a fucking blast, man. It's been a hell of a ride.
And it's that's awesome. I mean, it's funny because you hear about barn smokers and you hear about the cigars, but then you hear about the music. It's like they go hand in hand. It's like, oh, it's a great time and the music's phenomenal. It's like, holy cow. I mean, you've made it to where it's an event, but at the same time, people are having a good time. I mean, everybody has a good time smoking cigars. If you don't, you're in the wrong lifestyle. But at the same point, to be able to say, hey, I got some good music to go along with it is just fantastic.
It's a vibe, you know, and then I've been with the my forefathers in DJing that I learned under, like, you know, especially in, like I said, Chicago, we're very grateful for to have a lot of great DJs that came out of here. And one of the gentlemen that I learned under was a DJ by the name of DJ Nonstop. And, you know, you got to be kind of like that chameleon where wherever you're at, you want to adapt. You don't want to sing you're going to have your one genre that's always going to be your favorite, but you want to be indispensable where you could play everything. If someone needs a DJ for this style, that style, you could do it. And that's how I learned. So that comes hand in hand. When you go to a cigar event, you're going to catch an eclectic mix of folks. You know, you're going to catch your guy that's making money that's in a suit to your guy that's the local plumber that's making, you know, he's a union trade guy, you know, and to your regular couples that are out there. So when I play to the crowd, I see who's out in front of me. So in each different states, I get to play an array of different styles of music, and they all notice it and they love it. They don't, I'm sure at first they look and they're like, oh, great, it's going to be all hip hoppy theme. JD loves hip hop, you know, but I get it flowing and I know what folks want, and I kind of curate that vibe. Like if I was sitting in the crowd, if I'm in a lounge listening to music, I know stereotypically when you go into a lounge, it's always like the light salsa, Cubanesque, Puerto Rican salsa music in the background, or Dominican, you know, because they feel like it goes hand in hand. They're wearing their Guayaberas shirts, and then, you know, and it's more than that, you know what I mean? Like, so it's great to be part of with a company that likes breaking the mold, to be able to break the mold musically when I'm with all these folks.
Yeah, when you go up to Ultimate Cigar Lounge, which is one of our sponsors, they're always playing jazz. Teddy's always playing jazz, so it's always nice to be able to get a little bit of something different in there. So I want to throw this up there. Sammy Flo has a good question for you. It says, Eli, how long did you smoke sweets before you moved into the traditional?
Good question. Looking back, I'd say maybe about 2.5, 3 years, if that, maybe. Because I know, like I said, it was about just around 2012 is when I saw it. 2007, 2008, like I said, I was really getting into it. And then about 2011, 2012, um, I decided to give a traditional cigar a try.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a couple years.
Cool. And then he's got one more follow-up for you here. Also, you mentioned you never drank. Did cigars or DJing lead to the spirits?
So no, honestly, it became one of those things where, you know, as I was going, trying to piece it out right. So when I was going, I think I would just have mixed drinks and I would see them, and as we were going to events, and it really interests me, you know. And I'm sorry, can I give me 1 minute? I gotta get him going on mute. I feel like I gotta.
So David here's got to say, got to be eclectic. Yeah, you definitely got to be eclectic. You definitely got to. It's difficult. I mean, I give him a lot of credit, and we'll talk about it as he comes back, because when you're in the realm of cigars and a cigar barn smoker, you've got a vast group of people that are coming from all different walks of life. So you can't be in one lane and not be able to be willing to change lanes or to do to play something different. So
speaking of eclectic, Fireborn's giving us an update on his toilet job. spare toilet and doesn't have water in it.
That's good. So it's really been a spare toilet that he hasn't put anything into it for a while, unless he just moved into his home or wherever he's at. So, but yeah, so it's he's back.
So sorry about that, guys. I know
No,
I
that's
started
okay.
feeling dry, and then I'm like, hold on a second. I'm like, and I thought I had
Uh-huh.
water still in this jug, and I'm like, I didn't. So, again, apologize again.
No.
So yeah, Sammy, to answer your question, yeah, I was going to these events, and honestly, a buddy of mine, they were having some bourbon, and I said, you know what, let me go ahead and take a little sip, and then I was like, all right, cool, you know, and it wasn't in a cigar space or club space. I just happened to be at his house, and I said, you know, I'll go ahead and just have a little. He's like, oh, a little spirit wouldn't hurt, and I says, let me go ahead. Like I said, it wasn't necessarily in particular why I didn't do that at that time. I just really wasn't. It wasn't my thing, especially in the nightlife industry. I saw so much shit, and I liked it to be cognizant of my surroundings, especially
Hmm.
when you're dealing with money and people. And I'd had buddies of mine that would go to nightclubs and get hammered and trashed, and it would just be horrible. So I'm like, I always seen that. I'm like, I don't want that. At the end of the day, this is a hobby, but it's also a business for me, and I take it serious. So, yeah, I made sure to always be on point and on par because I was so serious about my craft. And when I was on the road again, there was everything under the sun would be offered to you. And when I would go meet artists or hang out with artists, you were literally offer everything on a platter. And to the point that I remember, um, excuse me, hanging out with Corn,
Hmm.
the rock band. And again, I'm not gonna tell the individual's name, but it was a band member that was like, "Hey, you want some of this?" And he had a mixture of pills and shit in a bag. And I said no, and they started asking, "Is this guy a narc?" You know, like he's not doing nothing. And we're out here partying. I was like, no, I'm like, I literally wanted to be in the moment. Like I'm a big moment guy. So I wanted to
Yeah.
be able to say, hey, I can remember this night and not be like, yeah, I got fucked up, man. And I don't remember shit. So that was it for me. But yeah, I just went ahead and started having a couple spirits and I'm still a light drinker. I know sometimes when I hang out with some of the guys, they're like, come on, have another. I'm like, no, I literally thoroughly just want to enjoy or for a moment. You know what I mean? Like I said tonight, you know, so you break out a little something special for, moments like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Was it a marriage? Yeah.
No, definitely not. No, I'm very lucky. My wife's awesome. I am fucking blessed. She's my best friend. My biggest supporter. I mean, who else is gonna say, yeah, you can smoke in the basement of the house as long as you have the right airflow to get the smoke out, you know?
Hmm.
So I'm very, very, very appreciative of her. Yeah, and even there's times that we've been out together and to have a couple of light spirits, and she's not really a big spirit drinker herself. Like I said, it's always based on what we're doing. But no, I know, no, I'm very blessed. To go ahead and say I have a great marriage and not drinking for marriage and not driving to that.
Does she smoke cigars? Has she tried to smoke cigars?
Once in a full moon, she'll
Yeah.
join me for one. She likes the leather rose.
Okay.
She That's a very cigar that she ends up liking. Otherwise than that, she's real low key. I do like little 4x32 10, something small because she can't finish it all the way. Back in her college days, which is some time ago, she recalls smoking cigarettes. So in her mind, sometimes when she goes to smoke, she feels like, oh my God, where she's gonna bring it down. Yeah, so
Hmm.
it becomes a little difficult for her.
Yeah, the fun size one does that. Like I said, I gave her in the pre-show. We are talking about getting her a cigar from Jonathan, and she enjoyed it. But she's like, she had to think a lot about smoking because yeah, it's that natural idea of I'm going to inhale it, and I'm like, no, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I had a question on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember what it was now.
Does she ever go to the barn smokers with you?
So she only came out to once, and that was to the Pennsylvania Barn Smoker. And funny story, I didn't know she was coming. The guys, Fabian and the crew, it was my birthday when that Barn Smoker that we were doing in PA, since 2019, 2020, fell on my birthday weekend. So they hit her up on the side, said, hey, we want to bring you by surprise. So I was on stage, and then they said, oh, we have somebody here to say happy birthday to you. She popped out in the middle of the crowd. Big crowds are not her thing, especially like a barn smoke when you have over 1,000 people. So she's just not a big crowd person. Once in a while, she's come out to shops with me when I'm doing like local events at a local shop. But otherwise than that, that's not really her thing. She just likes to just kind of lay low key and out of sight, out of mind.
So do you follow? So if Jonathan's doing something, does he expect you to be there? So if he does a local event, does it sort of, hey, I'm going to be, want you to have music for me, or is it sort of just when he gets the vibe to go, hey, I'm doing this event, come out?
I'd say lately it's been a thing where he wants me there. You know what I mean? Where he says, where he's like, I'm going out. I need Eli with me. So I'm kind of like the new Bluetooth speaker that he used to tote around with and drive folks nuts with. Yeah. So a lot of them, there's a couple that they do. I know that I may not just do scheduling, but I say 99% of the events that he's going to do will be out somewhere. I'm with him.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's not, it's like his. We'll get into this, but it's his entrance music. Hey, give me something to get my vibe going. Give me something to get me going here. So yeah,
Yeah, when we do the barn smokers, yeah, he's got his stuff. Like there's folks that wonder what's going on up there, and there's songs that I play, and they ask me if I'm playing that out of me wanting to play it, and it has to do with him. Like he has certain tracks that he's feeling in the moment. And every smoker he switches up on. He's got a couple of different tracks that he wants to flow in to walk up to, and then something to sing to his son. This year he's been bringing his son out. So yeah, we kind of bounce off the ideas off each other.
that's awesome. That is awesome. I'm just curious because I have never really been to a nightclub. But how's the night? I mean, how is the nightlife here in Chicago now? Because I don't. I mean, I'm 58 years old, so I don't hear about it. But I mean, for a while, I mean, Excalibur and all those places were the places to go to, and I don't know how that sort of plays into things now.
So the nightclubs definitely changed a whole lot. The scene, the Chicago scene. I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate music like they used to appreciate. Excalibur now is owned by the Tao family, so it's called Tao Nightclub. They do the restaurant day during the day, the nightclub at night. I got a couple buddies that DJ there. I haven't been really in the mix with stuff downtown. Once in a while, I'll make my way out to the DeKalb area for the college town at a bar
Mm-hmm.
called Molly's. So I'll go to Molly's out there. I've been just DJing for them on and off since. Um, excuse me, since like 2007, 2008.
Okay.
And I got some heartburn going on tonight, guys. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so I've been DJing on and off for them for quite some time, and even the progression of that now, like the crowd now, they're on their phone. They're not really in tune. They're just nodding their head to what's getting played with and stuff like that. It's an interesting thing. So it's changed a whole lot from like what it used to be. It's unfortunate. I know this comes with the times. Now people are starting to do these pop-up parties where they're doing parties at coffee places and garages, day parties and stuff
Really?
like that. They're trying to have a unique twist on things, which
Huh.
is kind of awesome to see. Um, for me, like I said, it's the scene's still there. It's like I said, there's one a dozen. There's so many that's out there too. So it's a whole lot different.
So you're
So is,
traveling a lot then to other cities.
I used to a whole lot. Yeah, yeah. There was times I was getting booked for stuff in Cleveland, Michigan, Indiana, the Pittsburgh area, and then yeah, like I said, the last since I started doing stuff more consistently with Drew State, I just kind of kept it to that.
Hmm.
do you think the whole thing with the nightclubs is because music is so readily available now? I mean, you get a Spotify or you get an Apple or something like that. You've got everything. You've got every song you can possibly think of, and so people don't put as much emphasis onto nightclubs. Or
I think so. I think the people that they want to listen to what they want to listen to on the spot, they want to come with their phone, flash it in front of you for requests like that, and you're just like, enjoy the night. Let me be the curator of your evening. So it's been different where they feel like they're entitled because they listen to their playlist or whatever's on there, and you
Mhm.
have to be the controller that night for them.
Yeah, yeah. And I was curious. I'm always interested in that because it does seem like you don't hear it as much. And again, I'm older, so it's not like I'm in touch with that scene. But you know, my son is 20, 24, 20, no, 27 years old. Sorry. And they'll go out to clubs, but it's not like they're going out to hear something. It's just, hey, we're going to go hang out at a club or something like that. So, um, you know,
Yeah, they want the local bar, local dive bar. They just want a chill vibe. If you're getting these guys are if you're getting to your 30s or 40s and on up, you just kind of want like a chill atmosphere. The younger crowd has also changed. They're not drinking as much neither. The younger crowd, they want to stay at home. Plus, like I said, they shop online now. Back then,
yeah.
whether it's yourself, Mike or Marty or whatever, you're going out and you want to meet somebody, you're gonna go to the bar, you're gonna go to a club, you're gonna go to a scene where there's folks that are hanging around congregating. Now you just pick up your phone and these kids do everything on their phone and shop on the phone. And then
Yeah.
now, so that doesn't even give them the courage to get turned down. Some of these guys don't know how to does what it feels to get turned down because they'll just send the DM whether it gets read or it doesn't, or they don't get that friend request accepted. They keep it going and they go to the next one where you're in an actual bar. You walk up to a girl and you say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Not you. and it's different. You got to learn that rejection, and you learn over and over, and you have those interactions, and you hang out with your buddies, and you make a night of it, and it's different now. Yeah, sometimes they're just already preset and they do their thing. It's real interesting. So it plays out different.
Yeah, we need our young buck Teddy here to be able to talk about some of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, it's my son's in the Navy, and it's like even talking to him about some of the stuff they do, and it's not going out and I mean, they might go out and party and have a good time, but it's very toned down compared to, I guess, my high school or my college days where, hey, we went to this bar and I can't remember how I got home. It's like, it was
Totally
those,
different. Yes.
yeah, yeah. So
So I'm kind
So-
of interested to find out what like a barn smoker is like. I've never been to one, but like this is like an all-day event that starts early in the morning and goes till after sundown. And what kind of stuff happens and what's it like?
Yeah, so typically your barn smokers start about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. They go to about 5 o'clock in the evening. They've changed a whole lot since their original inception. The original inception was just kind of a big herf, and you got to learn about whatever farm you were at, the tobacco. So now you still have the education portion of that, but now you have other stuff you could get into, whether there's food trucks that are there, there's games you could play, there's rolling stations to learn how to roll cigars. You get more cigars, that other stuff. So it's became like a mini cigar fest, a
Mhm.
mini like a I'm trying to compare it to, like, I don't want to do like the Lollapaloozas or anything like that, but it's something where there's more than just you sitting and herfing, and you can interact and get around and do a bunch of different stuff. So it's definitely growing tremendously thanks to Christine and the consumer engagement team. They have some great ideas and they add some cool things to the events. Sammy was very fortunate. We were to have had Sammy at a couple of barn smokers where his team was cutting hairs. Like, who gets a haircut at an event? So they were doing stuff like that and getting cigars. So it's changed a whole lot. You expect myself on stage for bringing you the entertainment, as well as the host hosting and giving giveaways with cigars for warriors and whatnot.
We still
There's
want to try to get Chief into the barber chair to see if Sammy can cut that beard off of him.
I'm sorry, guys. Give me one
No,
second. I'm trying
it's
to
okay.
take.
Take
No,
care of yourself.
go ahead, take care of
We'll
yourself. Yeah.
carry on.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good question, and we'll keep pressing for some information because I learned on a podcast about these whole activation stations. I had no idea what they were, and they're like, yeah, they're mini educational spots to be able to learn about the tobacco, learn about the rolling, and those different aspects. So it's great, and I'm definitely, it's on my bucket list for next year. I definitely want to try to get out to a barn smoker and experience it and meet some of these people that go to it. And while he's away, why don't we run our commercials and then we'll come back
Okay.
and hopefully DJ will be with us,
Yeah.
and we'll go from there. So let me get to this. Here we go.
Step into luxury at Ultimate Cigar Lounge, where passion meets perfection. Discover a world of premium cigars, hand-selected from the finest tobacco regions. From bold beginners to seasoned aficionados, our curated collection delights every palate. Grab a cigar from our amazing selection, pair it with freshly brewed coffee or fine spirits, and sit back and relax in an atmosphere of elegance and warmth. Ultimate Cigar Lounge, your haven for unforgettable moments. Visit us today and ignite your senses. Ultimate Cigar Lounge, located in Villa Park, Illinois. Open daily. Looking for the ultimate eyewear experience in Chicagoland? Discover Eyewear Fix, your premier eyewear store for over 28 years. From sunglasses to sports glasses to safety gear, we've got it all at every price point. Bring your prescription, and we'll handle the rest. Our appointment-only office offers a private, concierge-style experience tailored to your busy schedule. Call or text Chris at 630-853-4167 to book your visit and see why Eyewear Fix surpasses expectations. Eyewear Fix, where style meets precision. Get your fix today.
There we go. And hey, just want to remind everybody, if you get a chance, if you haven't hit the like button, subscribe to us. Check us out on Spotify. Check us out on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. We're trying to do our best to get out there and get as much information out there to everybody as we can. It's going to be interesting. The show keeps developing, keeps growing, and it's just a time. We're trying to do our best to get, I guess, the word out to everybody. We're finding out more and more that people are interested in us, which we appreciate. There's not too many podcasts that are based out of Chicago. And out of the Midwest, we had just lost How About That Cigar. Listened to a great podcast that they had the other day. Matt Ty was on Smoking Tobacco, and if you really go over there, if you want to see the challenges that you face as a podcaster and putting podcasts together, go listen to Matt's interview on Smoking Tobacco. It really was eye opening to hear what he went through and some of the process that he did in his journey to launch How About That Cigar. So it's interesting, but yeah, please,
that was real good.
yeah, hit the like and the subscribe button over there on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook. Subscribe to us. Pass the word on. Share this with your friends, your timeline. So he's back.
So again, so sorry about that, guys. I don't. So this is just random, and I know you guys could probably test this. As I've been getting older, I've been getting certain things don't gel the same. Whether you wake up, knees clicking, things clacking, things whatever, and then I'm noticing certain foods have just been like, So we had some pasta and like they're just so sit when I'm talking, I'm just like feeling like real heartburn. I'm like, man, let me go upstairs and go ahead and grab a Tums real quick because I'm trying to talk, and I'm like
That is
speaking, I'm
not a
like.
good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I'm trying to like, ugh, but yeah. So again, sorry about that, guys.
No, I feel it. I get there's a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant we go to, that had a red salsa verde, and boy, that was good. But boy, that did not agree with me. A couple hours later, I was like, oh, I gotta think twice about that. But it was so
Yeah,
good. I had
I'm
it over
talking.
everything. Like
I'm talking to you guys, and as I'm talking, I can just feel like I want to keep, and I don't want to be like, belching on the mic, and I'm
yeah,
like, let me go take a Tums. But yeah, Marty, to finish up that part of your question you asked me. So yeah, so it's become like a big atmosphere where, like I said, it's just more than beyond cigar smoking and sitting down in a chair at a table. Like I said, there's a bunch of stuff you can get into, and the education stations are still open, and they're doing their best every year to add different stuff to the education stations to still educate people. And there's been a large upkick in new people that have been coming out, as well as obviously you have your repeat people that come out. But now it's gotten so popular. Like this last year, there was a little bit drama around ticket sales. They sold out
yeah,
fast. Our
yeah.
website went down. There were so many people coming in at once, and I talked to some of the folks at Drew Estate, and they were just like, "Wow, this is the first time we've experienced it." But I've been part of that when other stuff comes out online. You have stuff that they flood the servers. People are trying to get it, and before people were used to like, bar smokers in August, and it's March. Oh, I'll probably get my tickets closer to August, and now no, you got to prepare and be on it and get your stuff right away, or else you're gonna lose out. A lot of people lost out. I got a lot of DMs about that and people missing out because they're seeing what it is and it's changed. I think again, some people thought it was going to be the same thing over and over, and it's not. It's a whole different atmosphere now. So and it's a great atmosphere at that, I should say. So people are enjoying it.
And it was this year because I saw the drama. I'm on the Facebook group for True Estates, and the drama, or I said, I guess the issue was it was Saturday Sunday this year as opposed to Friday Saturday. So I think it was sort of the feeling of, hey, we sort of wanted that Friday barn smoker, and it didn't work out. And it sounds like the feedback that people gave, Drew Estates is considering,
Yeah, well, there
moving it
was
back.
also some confusion too, because there was at DE25 they were doing Friday Saturdays,
Mm-hmm.
and some did Friday Saturday Sundays. They were doing a VIP party on Friday. Then they were doing a Saturday event as well. Jesus Christ. And it became one of those things where I think people thought that's how it was going to be. And then you rolled into, then they were doing 2 day barn smokers, just no VIP. It was a barn smoker that day, barns. And then it changed again to where now, like this year, Connecticut ended up being 2 days because it's one of the popular ones that sells out fast. They did it on a Friday. They did took surveys. You're right, Mike. They did Friday, Saturday. And then Florida this year, they introduced the brunch. So it was
Yes.
typically Friday. Jeff at Corona Cigars has a pre-party. That's just always going to be Jeff's night in Florida. So everybody just takes and we take over the Sand Lake location, and it's hundreds of people out there hanging out. And then Saturday's your barn smoker. And then this year, Jeff and his team wanted to work with Drew Estate to introduce a Drew Estate Corona brunch, where it was different alcohol beverage purchases where they were giving out beer mimosas, and stuff like that, and it was more laid back, not as crazy as intense as the Saturday event, but more. There was only a couple of activation stations open, and just kind of low key. So I get it how that could throw folks off, and the next year they're anticipating the same thing. But that's the thing. Like I said, the Christine and her team are doing an awesome job of kind of switching things around for folks to enjoy and do things different. And I think some folks just have to be a little bit open-minded and know it's not going to always be the same. I think they got so used to when the first bar smoker came in, it was the same shit every year. It was
Yeah.
rinse and repeat. So yeah.
So there's like 1,000 or plus people at these, right? And
Yeah, Connecticut clips over about 1,200. Florida is a little bit less than that. I think Florida is anywhere between 650 to 750 because Jeff only wants so many people on the farm and so they can be there comfortably. But yeah, typically these events are clipping over 1,000 people.
so they have like a stage set up where speakers can get up and talk, and where you're
Yeah, we're in the main Big Tent where I'm at with the big stage there. There's speakers all around for AV. Then they have the Deadwood Saloon where they'll run AV in there with TV monitors, which is for VIP. And they can also, if they don't want to make their way to the main tent, they can still sit in there and watch us on the TV. Those are your two kind of tents to kind of run everything. And then everybody's kind of scattered all over the place.
And then they usually have like some curing barn or tobacco fields that you can tour. And
Yeah,
do
you'll hit the
education.
farm side, see like in Connecticut, you got to see all where the Connecticut broadleaf grows out there, walk the fields, and then they have their curing barns where they're putting them in there, and they show you the process of how they first put them in the racks, and then how they're getting ready to get shipped out. And then Jeff's is barns half full down in Florida, but then you could also go ahead and hit the farm side and walk around that way.
I know you probably don't know it, but do you think they'll ever go back? Because they're down to 2 barn smokers a year now. I mean, they're having Connecticut and Florida. A couple years ago, they had 3. They had Connecticut, Kentucky, and Florida. Do you think they'll go back to? Is there any discussion about going back to 3, or is it just going to be the 2?
That I don't know for sure. I honestly and wholeheartedly tell folks like I find out just before you guys find out because they got to make sure I'm open for those dates. So I don't get to this is that purgatory area where I was joking about earlier. Like,
Yep.
but I know right now there's been a big emphasis on family reunion. So last year they introduced family reunion. They did they did family reunion and then they did tour de liga. So family
Right.
reunion, which again is going to take place, I'm sure, again next year down in Versailles, Kentucky, which is just outside of Frankfort, Bourbon County. And we ascend on the Kentucky Castle. It's the castle that's owned by the Henderson family of Angels Envy, formerly of Angels Envy, because they sold it out. Now they have another brand they just launched called True Story. So we ascend on their castle for a bourbon panels, bourbon tastings. It's more intimate, not as many people, limited ticket, but it's a great, great atmosphere. And then the other one they introduced last year was Tour de Liga,
Right.
they put more emphasis on the Liga H99, the T52, the 9, and the Anniversario. And you got to learn the ins and outs of the cigar. They had a station set up to where you got to smoke the tabacchiato, which is what the rollers would smoke, and the blenders would smoke when they're creating the cigar. So you got to see how that process is, how the profile changes, and then food galore, drinks galore, and then I was mixing upstairs, and they did that one in Arizona, just outside the Arizona Cardinals Stadium. There's a nice event space that's out there that we were there. So again, they're trying to introduce some different stuff. Again, like that's one thing I'll give to the consumer engagement team, Christine and her team. Like I cannot give her enough props and mention her enough. She's really awesome, and she's trying to add and like we're saying earlier, just do things different, not do the same. Let's face it, you got Smokinos, you got the Great Smoke, you got Great Lakes, you got CI, you got all these that are kind of the same. It's everybody gets together, buy a bunch of cigars, sit around and smoke, and they're just trying to add some different stuff to where they're also educating you on the cigar, and they're
Right.
breaking stuff down for you, which is awesome if you're a true cigar nut and you want to know more. So like I said, Tour de Liga, people were so freaking head over the moon over it because they were just like, man, I didn't know that. I smoked the H99 and now I'm a fan of the T52, or I'm a T52 smoker and now I love the H99 or the nut, like 'cause you got to know the ins and outs. And then they were so happy they got to dress up a little bit, and I was playing music, and it was a great backdrop with the background.
Yeah, and I think that's a like you said, Drew Estate's definitely trying to keep things fresh and change things up. And I think at the same point they are trying to educate the consumer to be able to go, here's what you're smoking, and here's what we do to get you to smoke that. Here's the process that this cigar has to go through. We all know 300 hands touch a cigar before it gets to you, but it's nice to be able to look at and understand some of the intricate workings of the cigar industry and the making of a cigar. So I go, oh, okay, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize the curing process. I didn't realize, this whole aging and what is behind that cigar. So I think it's awesome. It's, Marty and I were at an event a couple years ago, and it was, yeah, you're right. Okay, we walk around, we buy a bunch of cigars, and you walk out, and you're like, all right, it was like a big market as opposed to, help me understand some stuff, help me understand a little bit more about the industry.
Yeah, and if you're, and don't get me wrong, there's your casual smokers that just want to smoke and get together. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been the type of kid that I always want to know how they make it. When DVDs first came out and they had the behind the scenes and the extra, I'm there trying to watch that. Like I always like, seeing what it takes to get from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm.
So and for me, to tell you guys honestly, sometimes it fucking sucks because I'm part of the event and I don't get to take part of the event.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're doing setup, I'm like, what? I try to take advantage. It wasn't until this year was the first time I had a little downtime because I ended up Great Lakes ended up booking a band and I had some downtime and I was able to make my way to the rolling station with Pedro and Henry and roll my own cigar.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, yeah, like I said, and it's awesome for the consumers to do because at the end of the day, I was and still am a consumer at heart. So like, I'm like, man, this is so fucking awesome. Like, I'm like, oh, you can partake in that. And yeah, so when I see it, I do get jealous of some of the folks that come out that are able to sit there and enjoy it, they truly want to enjoy it and they truly want to learn more and be educated more.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. Cigar smoking arborist, good to have you with us tonight. And then of course Sammy's now understanding why Fireborn's toilet got backed up because of you.
Man, you know what? I take fucking having to go use the bathroom over this fucking damn heartburn right now because I'm like trying to talk and it's like I'm gonna fucking get some more Tums in me. I should have took a Pepsi AC or something before.
There you go. All right, let's dive into something here because DJ and I sort of have this weird fascination, and I don't know. Maybe some of you guys do. Maybe some of you guys don't. But DJ is a big. I should say big, but you're a solid wrestling fan. You're a solid wrestling fan, and we're talking about the WWE, AEW, TNA, NXT, and I know some guys are going, seriously, we're going to go in this direction for smoking, but it's part of who Sammy is. If you can't see, let me see if I can put this on the big screen here. Let me see if I can expand. Back there in the corner over it'll be his left hand. Look at those are wrestling belts. Those are championship belts back there. So.
And there's more my light and black blocking things back there. But back there, there's figures I have, collectibles from the different eras and stuff like that as well.
So, what got you into it? What got you? I mean, we know what got you into cigars, but wrestling. What was the hook for wrestling?
Wrestling growing up in the 80s into the 90s was larger than life. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, those guys were my superheroes. And that's what got me hooked and that's what got me into them. And that's the time where I was just locked in and I was in for the full ride all the way into the Attitude Era when Stone Cold and The Rock came out and so on and so forth. But yeah, those were as a young kid, you wanted to be that and you wanted to be a Hulkamaniac. I was a Hulkamaniac as a kid. When I finally got to meet Hulk Hogan, it was awesome. It was a pleasure of mine to finally check that off my list. As the inner child in me was like, yes. But yeah, that old WWF 80s into the 90s era, WCW, the WCW versus WWF era, like that whole time to me was just it was entertaining. It was very entertaining and it definitely had me captivated and locked in.
It's definitely back in the 80s was wrestling has changed a lot. Back in the 80s it was family oriented. I mean, and it sounds crazy to say that, but a father could take his kids there and you'd watch some wrestling and it was great. I mean, I can remember Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings and all that trying to catch wrestling on whatever channel was, Channel 9 or whatever was on, to be able to say, okay, hey, what happened? And you didn't know.
It was like Sunday mornings. That's when wrestling was on when I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Come home
it was
from
like,
church and watch wrestling and see Baron von Raschke and
oh
The
yeah,
territories. Yep.
yeah, the Iron Sheik and all those guys, and you didn't know what was gonna, what happened, because they'd have some big show, and it was before WrestleMania, but it was obviously how did Hulk Hogan lose the belt? And you're trying to figure out what the heck happened. How did he not have the belt on him anymore? And all that kind of interesting stuff. And then the Attitude Era sort of went to the point that you didn't want to take your kids to a wrestling event because you're like, oh, I got to explain stuff that I'm not ready to explain to them.
Yeah, that was Attitude Era was the first time that I saw a girl flash in person. You know what I mean? That I was like right next to me showing the puppies,
Yeah.
and that was, and I had to be maybe like 12 years old.
Yeah.
It was a
Undertaker.
SmackDown.
Yeah, David is right. The Undertaker.
that's what got him hooked.
Yeah.
Ever since then.
The puppies. Yeah. My Jerry the King Lawler impersonation. Yeah, Undertaker, Paul Bearer, man.
Oh,
Fear as a kid, you hear that gong and he'd come out, and yeah, that was just it was the time.
I just watched a podcast. Stephanie McMahon has Heyman on her YouTube podcast, and if anybody's a fan of wrestling, I would highly recommend going and watching. It's 2 hours, but it's absolutely unbelievable to sort of hear his progression at age 15. He snuck in and was doing stuff at age 15, taking pictures. I mean, and to hear how he got his, and I had heard the story before, but it's interesting to hear him share the luck that he had by taking one picture and just how that basically catapulted his life in the wrestling world. So, and then you also got to meet the Wolfpack. I saw a picture.
Yeah, man. I got to, again, I'm a big comic convention and wrestling convention fan, and I jumped at the opportunity and was able to meet Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and X-Pac. I got all three in one, aka the Click, the Wolfpack, the Click, and it was again another bucket list item checked off, man. And those guys were just hanging out, and they were cool as shit. And and then I ran into Kevin Nash. I've run into Kevin Nash multiple times at airports and stuff like that. Seen X-Pac at another event on the side, and then unfortunately Scott Hall passed. And but it was real cool to meet all three.
I remember I was watching WCW when the invasion began, and you want to talk about as a father, I'm like, and my son's sitting there with me, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? These guys are from another company. Why are they? And for a while, I'm like, what's happening here? This is crazy, So
yeah, now you have it where shit gets leaked online. People say things. It's horrible. It was great to be able to get surprised.
Oh yeah. It's. I mean, again, today's Tuesday. Monday night, I watched wrestling, and it was leaked about who was showing up to Raw last night. I mean, it was all this information out there. And I'm like, oh no, you're ruining it for us.
All the dirt sheets.
Yeah. The best surprise, and I think probably the best kept secret, was a couple years ago with CM Punk showing up in Chicago. People had this feeling about Survivor Series, but they weren't sure. And the way the show ended, you're like, okay, he's not showing up. And all of a sudden he shows up, and it's like, holy cow. And for anybody that doesn't know, CM Punk is a Chicago native, a huge Chicago native. Still lives in Chicago, resides, and just the Chicago connection with him is strong. And as crazy as it sounds, Seth Rollins is a huge Chicago. He's in Iowa, but huge Chicago Bears fan, huge Chicago sports fan, and will regularly pop up at different little sporting events and be there. So.
Yeah, I got to meet Seth Rollins, and I also did a meet and greet with him at Wizard World. And our photo, we did a face off, and it was funny. I'm like, because I always ask wrestlers to put me in a headlock. Some are cool with it, some just don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I'm not gonna do that. He goes, because he's like liability reasons. He got all technical, like Hogan did with me. And I said, how about a face off? And he's like, let's go. And when we went to do it, security thought we were gonna fight. They're like, oh, and it was like, it's a photo, yeah.
So that's fun. And I think we should do our wrestling trivia now. What do you think, Marty?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna put you to the test here, Eli. We got five wrestling trivia questions here. We'll see how you do with this. And a couple of them are a little bit easier, but a couple of them they might not be as easy as you think. So
Okay, let's see. Right now, I feel like I'm getting pinned by this damn heartburn. Shit.
so
if you take a break, just raise
Yeah.
your hand and
Yeah,
take
at least
it.
you know. I feel like
So question number 1, which WWE superstar became the longest reigning Universal Champion of the modern era, holding the title from 2020 through 2023?
that was Roman Reigns.
Yeah, Roman Reigns. Yeah, absolutely. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the OTC. He held it for a long time, and it was interesting to see him develop um, through time, as he was not really liked by fans, booed quite a bit, and then took the heel turn or the bad guy turn for our non wrestling fans. And when he became a bad guy, the fans went crazy. And so, yeah. So, um, and DJ stepped off for a second. Why don't we come back to that in the meantime? We gotta do the news.
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's jump over to the news. Should we play the intro even though the Greek isn't here?
Even though Teddy's not here, let's do that.
All right, we'll do the news. Hold on a second. Where am I at here? Oh, there we go.
3, 2, 1.
And now, CTCP presents This Week in Cigar News with Teddy the Greek.
Teddy is off, so you'll have to deal with the news from Marty and I. What do we
Marty
got?
the Ninja or Mike the Mayor?
Yes, there we go. Marty the Ninja. We'll go with Marty. The CTCP news with Marty the Ninja. Go right ahead. What's our first slide?
All right. First slide is Black Label Trading Company and their 2025 Deliverance Nocturne.
Yeah, this thing's been it's back. It's back. It hasn't been out for a while, so it's back. The Pennsylvania broadleaf, the Pennsylvania Lajero filler, and the Nicaragua binder filler. Reasonably priced. I don't have a problem with these prices. $12.50 for the Robusto, $13.50 for the Toro. So yeah, and you can get the Figurado for $12. So definitely some reasonably priced cigars. If you haven't tried, I'd be surprised if people haven't tried Black Label. But if you haven't, definitely check these out. These are some great cigars, and you're gonna really enjoy this smoke.
DJ's back, so we're doing the news segment.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. That's okay.
Have a fucking,
No, go right ahead.
redemption episode with these damn freaking breaks. I don't mean to mess up you guys' show like that. Like I said, this thing's really.
Hey, we're as easy going as you can get. So what else?
I wanted to relight my cigar, and I'm like, hold on, let me get a second, because in the smoke with that feeling right now, I don't want like an acid reflux attack. Jesus Christ. Been
there, done that. Not fun. Oh yeah, the American Tube. So this is interesting. Coop broke this news on Saturday, but JC Newman has announced that it's partnering with the U.S. Semi-Quincentennial Commission, and they're going to release cigars with this branding on it of the America 250. And it sounds like quite a few other brands are going to be using this. So next year, 2026, is our Semi-Quincentennial. And so you have to pay to be able to use this logo on your cigars. And I think it's up in the air because I did some research on it. I was trying to do research, and some say you do have to some say you do have to pay for it. Others say you just have to get approval to use it. I'm assuming if they're going to put it on your cigars, they're going to probably want some sort of money for it. But cigars that are made at the I can't pronounce that.
El
Relo, thank you. Factory is going to come out with the 250 branding on it. So this is going to be all over the place starting in January. You were going to see this logo. The number of companies,
but on everything.
Yeah, I mean the number of companies. When I went to the website to look at the number of companies that are already licensed to use this. Walmart, Amazon, it's probably gonna be on every Amazon box you're gonna get is gonna be America 250. So that's interesting to see how cigar brands use it.
Yeah, I wonder if there'll be more. There'll be other cigar brands that join in. I'm sure there will.
Oh, I'm sure. Anything that they can. Ah, yes, the Crown Head Tennessee Waltz. I actually smoked one of these when I was in Tennessee this year. The store I went to had one of these. So, but Crown Heads has announced that the Tennessee Waltz will become a national release. So, prior to this, you could only get these in Tennessee stores and Tennessee lounges. And so Crown Heads has decided
they made it national at least a couple of years ago because I've gotten them not in Tennessee stores.
Oh, really? Okay.
So with this though, they're like changing the branding and they're adding some other Vitolas.
Yeah. I like the orange box. I think that's something different.
Yeah.
I just think it pops on a cigar.
It used to be just the cigar with an orange band on it.
Mm-hmm.
John's did a real good job of rebranding a lot of the Crown Head stuff. When I got to chop it up with him at this year's PCA, when they announced like the other brands, when they were doing Mil Diaz and so on and so forth, and I think the way that they're rebranding and doing those bands like that is way more elegant and comes out and real eye popping. But yeah, we're gonna go with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's just going to be a better. I think it's going to help them. I think their rebranding is going to help them. I think it's going to be a lot more recognizable to consumers.
And I'm definitely interested in trying these other Vitolas because I love that the OG 5.5 by 52.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, great price. I mean, those are I guess our budget-friendly realm is probably going to be what the $8 to $13 range is probably going to be your budget. Is going to be your budget cigars, and these all fall in it. And you can't beat a $11.95 cigar by Crown Head. That's a steal.
A broadleaf, nonetheless. So
exactly. So La Aroma de Cuba, small batch.
Yeah.
Is it really a small batch now?
This one is.
Yeah. So $25 a cigar. This definitely doesn't fit into the budget realm, but it's 2,000 boxes of 24. It's the Ecuadorian Habano wrap and the Nicaraguan binder. Definitely something to seek out if you're interested. I mean, if you want something special, this would probably be a good Thanksgiving cigar. We'll talk about that more next week. But this is a good cigar to be able to say, hey, I'm going to sort of relax and enjoy it. I'm not sure if they're going to be out by Thanksgiving or not. That's just next Thursday, so we'll have to see.
Yeah. Cavalier Genevieve.
Genevieve's?
I don't know.
Genevieve,
Yeah.
Project Broadleaf series. The Cow Rider. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's Cavalier always puts out some good ones. There's the gold on the band, like they're known for. So I haven't seen much about this. I sort of read a little bit, but not enough to really know. But Cavalier, you can't go wrong with those as well. And again, another Connecticut broadleaf. So broadleaf seems to be making its way here in the fourth quarter for the cigar industry.
Yep.
Oh, so this one. So we have some clarity. Last week our panel we're still confused. So from what I read on this, and I did spend quite a bit of time reading on this, they're not really going to enforce a lot of this right now. They're sort of going to wait and see.
As long as you're not obviously flavored, whatever that
right.
is.
Yeah.
Obvious to whom.
But they've also talked about they're going to sort of wait and see. And this is falling back, from what I was saying, this is going to fall back on local law enforcement. Well, let me tell you, local law enforcement is not going to be spending a lot of time going into cigar lounges or cigar stores looking to see if you're selling this stuff. I mean, I guess if you're really bored or you want to do an enforcement day, you might do it. But at the same point, they're not sure about even fining the people, because they said there was a question about the level of fine, and if they're going to fine people, what are they going to do? So
they're prioritizing education of to the companies over compliance and immediate fines.
Yeah. So I think if a brand gets caught up in this, and it's really going to probably fall back on, from what we've read, it's going to fall back on the local brick and mortar or lounge to basically be able to say, hey, you guys shouldn't have this in here. At which point they can go, oh, we didn't know about it, or we're sorry, we're getting rid of it. I forget who was saying it, that a lot of lounges in California right now just have tables full of boxes of cigars that they're selling at ridiculous prices just to get them out of their store because they don't want to get caught up in this situation. So if you're in California and you're listening to us, head over to your local brick and mortar, pick up a couple of boxes, probably cheaper than what you ever could pick them up for before, and get a steal of a deal.
California always making those wacky rules.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Marty.
They lead the United States in wacky rules.
And it's funny because now they're backtracking on stuff. So I wonder if all of a sudden they're realizing that they've lost a lot more money than they thought they were going to make.
Maybe.
I don't know.
They were lost and stuff, so they're spending money on legal fees and
because it's obviously flavored, and I mean nothing from Drew Estates is flavored; it's all infused. So where's the balance at in that?
To me, and that's what needs to be discussed at a higher level. And these guys are trying to advocate because they're getting lumped in with all the vaping stuff. Where that's what's appeasing to these young kids when you tell them this is cherry soda, whatever, rainbow flavored, whatever, and then when they do it, that's what they taste. So the last I checked, even I have an 18-year-old son. And I have a humidor and a door that he could get into. Not once has he ever had the curiosity to come in here and grab a cigar, smoke a cigar. That's just not their thing.
No.
But if you come out here and you give them this little, a little device. I mean, this is a lighter, but a little device that they could. And I see it. Like when I was DJing this previous weekend at the club, you don't know how many girls and guys that I saw that all they're doing is clicking and smoking, and it's lighting up with little bananas and stuff. Well, like they just need to separate the two and keep both the two in their own eras. Like I said, they're not like for me again. And I know I speak partial to it because that was the first cigar I smoked, but that was to me like the training wheel cigar. Where it got me. You smoke it, and then if I was to hand an individual a T52 that's never smoked a cigar, they might smoke it, and what's going to happen your first experience, you're not going to like it, you're not going to ever want to smoke a cigar again. But if I give you something that's small, mild, whatever, then you're going to grow your palate, and then you're going to be like, man, I want to get into this, and you go down a rabbit hole. So they just have to separate the two on that.
Yeah, and I can tell you, Fabian, Teddy's been captured by Santa. He's stuck, and he's working up in the North Pole, so we're hoping to see him sometime in January.
Yeah, he might not actually be able to make it too many times before the big shipping season is over in January.
Yeah. But I can tell you, it's funny you mentioned vapes because I can tell you again, my son's in the Navy. When we went on their base, that's every one of the guys and girls they pulled out a vape. It was they pulled it out. Hey, we can pull it out. We can puff on it here and walk away, and we ain't got to worry about it. So yeah, I mean I'm sure it's huge in the armed forces because it's a lot easier to deal with, and you ain't got to worry about it.
They puff it, they smoke, they blow it inside the shirt, it's gone. Where the cigar lingers around and you smell it. So, and then they get the flavor. They're not getting no. We smoke a cigar, you're getting a little bit of that tobacco, you get a little bit of that leaf feel. They're just plastic and puffing.
Oh, exactly.
Exactly.
So
to each their own, but don't lump my cigars with that. It's two different things.
Oh, Val
is suggesting.
Oh my God, Val.
Lord.
That'll take the acid reflux away and it'll give me something else. But I'm gonna have to take something, man. This is like the second time it's happened where it's been like this freaking bad where I'm starting to talk and then I can just feel like but yeah.
If you didn't leave, let us know, but let's get back into
let's see if we can jump back into wrestling. The trivia. So we talked about Roman Reigns and his time going from the heel. In 2021, which major wrestling debut shocked fans when he arrived in AEW at the first dance in Chicago?
That'd be CM Punk.
Absolutely, yeah. CM Punk. That shook everything.
Yep, they were shocked at the United Center, yes.
Yeah. And did you see that they announced, WWE announced that they're going back to the United Center for the first time in 30 years?
Yep. That TKO TKO wants that money, man, and that's a big arena that they could try to fill up versus the Allstate with that 12,000 seat or whatever it is. They could
Yeah,
fill more up at the UFC, so it's going to
yeah,
be interesting to see.
yeah. And I think it's when February. February they're going to be there.
Yeah, Elimination
Yeah,
Chamber, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. So, all right, Marty. Which women wrestler won both the 2021 and 2022 Women's Royal Rumble matches? Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, or Becky Lynch?
Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Hold on. 21, she won it back to back. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't Becky Lynch. It, I'm gonna go with Charlotte Flair. I want to go with Rhea Ripley, but I want to go with Charlotte Flair.
No, it was Bianca. It was Bianca
Fuck, it
Belair.
was Bianca because that's
Yeah,
the
it was
only way she
Bianca.
got her title shot. Yeah, during COVID,
Yeah,
and then after. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. She's been
Yeah.
missing. She's been gone for a while, so that'll be interesting to see if she pops up sometime soon.
Yeah. Her and that long hair with that whip, man. She leaves some of those girls some nice gashes when she
Man,
hits them with it. There.
if you guys haven't watched it, this girl's got a ponytail that's probably what
Yeah.
2 foot long, and
Maybe a little bit longer than that. I think it
yeah.
whips and then hits.
And I know that there was conversation. I'm trying to think of the last pay-per-view she was on, or the PLE, I guess they call them now. But somebody said, did they pipe in the whip sound? And she get mad. I said no. And then I forget who she hit. They go, no, that's not piped in.
Yeah.
There was a mark across that woman's stomach that was like, ouch.
Yeah, it
wouldn't
was
want people to
bad.
feel that. Yeah, yeah. What is the name of the AEW program launched in 2023 as their Saturday night primetime show? AE Rampage, AE Collision, AE All Access, or AE Underground?
That
AEW
would be
Underground.
that would be Collision.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Yep.
Then,
AE
yeah.
Collision. Yep. That's Collision, and it's a brand it's taken off. It's getting some momentum.
Yeah.
More and more. I think Tony Khan's got to do some work on his storytelling, but it's gaining some ground.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get WCW versus WWF status, but it's holding its ground above like a TNA and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Or an AWA, yeah.
Yep. And the last one. Which wrestler became the first to hold the WWE and UFC titles in their career, completing the accomplishment in 2023? Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar, Shayna Baszler, or Logan Paul?
And that's gonna be Ronda Rousey.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. She was the first to hold both a UFC title and a
Mhm.
WWE championship. And she completed the accomplishment with the WWE Women's title run in 2023. That was a career that I don't think that just worked out the way she ever thought it was going to be, or
No.
WWE never thought it was.
No.
So
Those are some good ones, man. You had some good ones there.
not
You
too
only
bad.
stumped me once, and I
Yeah.
got mixed up with the errors, but I'll take the L
Yeah.
on that one.
All right. And let's do a little section here. We have a little thing called the Capone cut, and this is where we introduce a cigar or pair a cigar in a Chicago style fashion. So of course, for our Capone cut, we've got to pick something. And Marty, you're going to appreciate this, but the Capone cut for the day is the Liga Privada T52. So the T52, yeah, there you go. The cigar you light when you want people to know you're not messing around. That is the cigar, stock cut, stock cured Connecticut Habano wrapper, rare heavy labor process that gives the cigar a signature deep spice and oily richness. Are you getting the spices?
Oh yeah, this has got a lot of good body to it.
Yeah, full-bodied, unapologetic, and intense. The cigar is here. It's not here to make friends. And when you smoke that, you know you're smoking a full-bodied cigar. There's no doubt about it. Cult following. The thick smoke. Obviously, you've experienced it. Dense flavor, big swagger. If Capone had a humidor at the Lexington Hotel, this is the one of cigars you'd find sitting inside. I don't even know if Al Capone could handle the T52. I think that might even be a challenge for him. So, like I said, pepper, dark earth, leather, black coffee. There's a little bit of sweetness, on the underlying richness. You get that a little bit?
Yeah.
So
it's got a good balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's got a lot of lot of body, but a nice little sweet balance to it. Yeah.
Yeah. When you walk into a room smoking that thing, you get everybody's attention right away. Oh, you got a T52? Holy cow! What's that like? If they haven't
Great
smoked
smoke.
it, yeah, it's great. It is great.
And it's always T52 versus the 9. You got your 9, you got your people that like the 9, people that like T52. I personally like both. I like the T52 in the Corona Viva size. Real good.
Really?
If you smoke in the Corona Viva size, yeah.
Yeah, I like both of them too. I don't have a favorite over them. This 13 has been fantastic. It's been absolutely fantastic. So, what are we pairing it with? You can do a high rye bourbon. Four Roses single barrel is definitely a good one. Redemption high rye bourbon is definitely another good one you can do. The high rye it mirrors the T52 spice, keeps up with the power, brings a little bit of sweetness in there. So it's a good. The high rye bourbon is definitely something that's going to complement that cigar. I don't think you're gonna have any issues with it. If you want something a little bit different,
Double oaked, I would recommend.
yeah, and I think you're sort of along the same line. You know, you're getting a little bit more of that oaky spice in there. So definitely. And if you want something a little bit different, you can go with the Southside Cocktail, which is gin, lime, and mint. So that's a little bit of a Chicago twist on a drink. So and then
Nice.
where are we rating this? The deep dish. It's a deep dish deluxe. Come on, this is rich. This is top
Full
shelf.
meal. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the T52 exactly. It's a full meal. It's premium. It's iconic. You can't beat that cigar. So it's a boss level cigar. You gotta love it. So that is our Capone cut for the night. So I'd recommend if you haven't had it, go out and get it. If you haven't had one, go out and get it. Dat Rat Cigar Guy, how you doing?
Always appreciate the love, brother.
Yeah. Nice.
Got some good folks in there.
Yeah, we got a lot of new people here. We're glad to join you. We're here every Tuesday night at 7:30 Chicago time. I like that little post. You reminded people Chicago time, East Coast time, and then whatever you have on the West Coast, you're tired.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. So, and let's quick jump into today. There's not a lot in today in history, but let's jump into it.
The time has come for us to take back our city.
I was thinking it's interesting. He looks shocked that we're looking at him. So that opening made me think of a news story that broke today. Mayor Johnson got voted down in his head tax today. So they're still trying to figure out how to fix Chicago's tax problems, and he's not figuring it out. So, but not a lot happening today in history. So DJ, we sort of go back and try to figure out what happened significantly on this day in Chicago history. This is always a tough time because October, November is, if we haven't made the playoffs in baseball, which we know doesn't happen a lot, we're sort of scraping for stuff. But on this day, November 18th, 1960, the first McCormick Place opened at 23rd Street. And I did not know this, but the building would later be burned down in 1967 due to part to lack of fire hydrants.
Wow.
I didn't realize it actually burned down at some point and they rebuilt it. So
Crazy.
yeah, it is. 58 years ago it burned down. So the Clark Ford House renaming on November 18th, 2022. So just recently, the Chicago City Council officially renamed the Henry B. Clark House, one of the oldest houses in Chicago, to the Henry B. and Caroline Clark / Bishop Lewis House and Margaret Ford House to honor its preservation history. So there's some house in Chicago that was renamed.
All those people live there, or they just keep adding names?
They just keep adding names.
They want a little more money. They add some more names.
And I did this because I'm outnumbered on this podcast. But there is Chicago Cubs news on this day in history. Do you have any idea what it is, Marty?
In November?
November 18th. November 18th, 1987. Does that help?
1987. Did they like trade somebody?
No.
1987.
No, this is. I'm surprised you don't know
news?
this. I'm surprised you don't know this. On this day, November 18th, 1987, Andre Dawson wins the National League MVP. He's the first player ever from a last place team to win the MVP, leading the league with 49 home runs and 137 RBIs.
Yeah, that
Good
doesn't
old
happen
number
very
8.
often.
Yeah. Yeah, that I mean, a last place team to be the MVP, but I guess you can't argue with stats, right? Hey, you got 49 home runs, 137 RBIs in 1987. That's before all the scandals even hit.
Yeah,
So 49 home runs back then was huge.
yeah,
It's huge. So
yeah. It is award season, so I should have guessed that. But
yeah, this seems late. It seems late for November 18th. November 18th to be awarding the MVP.
Yeah, I think the way that just the playoffs also ran all the way into the first day of November, and I think now that you were used to already like mid-October, those games ending, and they're stretching them out now because for money reasons and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But and giving good games going 7 games too. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's because last week and one day you're just handing out some Golden Gloves and stuff like that, and it's just like
right.
yeah, it just seemed, and they're already having the winter meetings, so
Yeah.
yeah, it just feels like it's late in the game.
Yeah. It definitely had Drew State family in the building. We are smoking. So you missed it, but we'll go over it. So I'm smoking the UF13. Marty is smoking the
T52.
T52.
I have a year of the rat.
And so he sort of fit right in there. So I don't know.
Here comes the 27 rings, bro. God.
Yeah, I was just say, you can't argue. Wait a minute here. We might have the Cubs might have a better year, but ring wise, it ain't even close.
Yeah, Mike. When he's talking about which team had a better year, it's definitely the Cubs.
Yeah, no, I know. Listen. Hey, I'm not talking about the South Side team right now. I'm focused on the Bears. So we didn't say they played on this date, Val. We said that he was awarded the MVP on this date back then. So yes, all great smokes. The panel pulled out the best for this show. We don't, we're not getting any of those. We just pulled out some of the good smokes for the night.
So what events do you have coming up for you?
Right now, this is the slowdown season. I'm doing a side event, which is not cigar related, but this week I'll be DJing for Drill, which is the Ducati Riders of Illinois. So all the Ducati are having their annual Christmas party, so I'm doing that up north in Arlington Heights. Otherwise than that, I'm just kind of just enjoying the family time because, like I said, yeah, my travel time starts picking up in February, so this is around the time where I'm here with the family, just doing, being present and being here and still holding my 9 to 5 down and doing what I got to do. So yeah, just enjoying a little time. We'll see. I'm gonna do some practicing stuff and I'm gonna be releasing some stuff online to keep things afloat. But yeah, just kind of it's a big thing I got. It's just that Ducati party coming up. And otherwise than that, I might be doing a Christmas party in a cigar lounge. It's still undecided. When I have confirmation, I'll release that information and release which lounge it'll be if it takes place for their Christmas party. But
yeah, let us know. We'd love to advertise it for you.
No, I
What
appreciate it.
what do you do for your 9 to 5 job?
My 9 to 5 job, I am a project manager for for Nicor Gas, for a natural gas provider.
Nice.
Yep, that's the consistent 9 to 5 bread and butter job that I do. So very grateful. Got the opportunity about 9 years ago to get into that field and haven't looked back, so it's been a great and a balance as well with me DJing. So it
Yeah.
works out just great. But yep.
You now go back a second because I forgot about this. So you studied at the Chicago Media School.
Yeah. I went to school for radio, TV, and broadcasting. I worked at WCKG for about a year before they ended up switching formats and then going from talk to rock. And I did some interim stuff for a couple other stations as Dance Factory, which is 92.3 I think it was, which is a
Okay.
big Dance Factory station up north. Yeah, so I did a little bit of that, and then I started to dabble in some media stuff, and that I unfortunately when I got into it, it was Great time to graduate, bad time to graduate. Like as soon as I got out, you had your big media companies buying up these smaller media companies, and then they were trying to get more with less. So they
Yeah.
started taking away a lot of the live radio. The only live radio you would get was your morning drive and your afternoon drive or evening
Mm-hmm.
drive, I should say. Otherwise, they wanted to pay you pennies on the dollar to come in and record for material for an hour, which they would spread across, excuse me, from like 9 in the morning till 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you're
Wow.
on technically on the radio for, 5, 6 hours, but they're only paying you for an hour's worth of work.
Yeah.
I got to board op for a couple shows and run stuff. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. The timing of it was just a little bit bad with the way the industry started to go and lean into. And I tried to get into some TV work, and TV was more you gotta start here, and it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I almost had an opportunity with ABC, but they're a real, which I respect in the same regard. They're an old school place that when you're there, those guys are there for you. They're camera operators. They've been there for 20 plus because they take care of your people.
Yeah.
So and I couldn't play that game, especially
Yeah.
with a growing family. My second son had just been born, so I couldn't do that. And it was trying to transition to DJing into that field, and I ended up circling back and getting more intense and more into DJing, um, knowing that that industry wasn't going the way it went. But yeah, I learned some cool stuff there at the Illinois Media Center. It was awesome, and met a lot of people, and still have some friends and connections to this day.
Awesome. No, it's yeah. I mean, I had a friend whose wife was in radio in Chicago, and I will not mention the station because the stuff she went through, and I'm like, holy cow. Um,
Yeah,
it was like, wow. The things they demand and the things that they want from you, and it's sort of you don't even own yourself. It's sort of like, hey, we own you, and either you're going to do this or there's the door. And I know, and I guess when they put her on that spot. She was like, "I'll take the door. I'm not gonna go against my values and stuff like that." So yeah,
yeah.
it's rough. It's rough out there. I don't even know if he's still in it. One of my guys I went to high school with was a camera guy for. He started out with ABC and then going to ESPN, and he was loving it. And that's all he did was camera. He didn't want to go any further, but he was happy. Hey, I'll take this all day long. So
Yeah, now a lot of the media now you got people could do it themselves and put it out there themselves. So that industry, you have a lot of the old print and print media, which is newspaper, magazines, as well as you got like I heard recently E Network Entertainment News or whatever, they shut down and they're just so totally on a social media platform because you got folks now that either want to give it to you themselves and be out there. So like I said, it's just I'm a big technology guy. I like growing with technology, but at the same time, sometimes technology can take away some traditional things from us. So yeah,
it's
it is what it
yeah,
is.
and it's we talked about it last week with Lauren. I mean, and it's more and more as I'm developing in the podcast and this show is developing, you realize how tough it is. I mean, and it's like trying to get information and trying to research stuff. Researching the article I was talking about with the America 250. It's like holy cow, you just can't even get a straight answer. And then you at the same point when you find something, okay, now you got to research: is that true or is it something that is just AI created that is a
Oh
bunch of
yeah, that's a
BS?
whole nother area. Yeah, where you're trying to verify what's real because now, yeah, especially with the AI stuff and people getting paying to be verified on Twitter and stuff, you think that it's legit and it's not. So we're in a weird space where you want to receive the news fast, but sometimes we get it too fast, and there's going to be somebody out there with ulterior motives. So you definitely got to do your research and make sure, as they say, dot your I's and cross your T's.
And I think that's going to be the hardest thing. I mean, I don't think it's going to really play a lot into the cigar media, but I think in general, it's going to be you've got to sort of take what you hear and see with a grain of salt and spend some time going back and verifying it. And it's like, holy cow! And people don't want to do
Yeah,
that. People don't. I mean,
no.
I've seen people. Oh, look at this, and it's like that's not true. Did you research that at all? That's not even close to being true,
Well, it's
factual.
on the
So
internet. No,
exactly,
that's not how it
yeah.
works. Yeah.
Facebook had it, so it must be true. So
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook.
yeah,
Yeah, don't pump your
yeah.
brakes. It's yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Where,
DJ, it's been. Go
where
ahead, Marty.
I was going to ask, where can people look you up on your social media platforms?
So I have a Facebook, which is just facebook.com/DJ Eli or facebook.com/official DJ Eli. I try my best to get back to folks on there. Facebook is an app that I'm hardly in and out of. The main app that I'm always in on, I'm always on Instagram. So my Instagram is going to be smoking DJ Eli. So just going to do SMKN. No, cigar smoking. So you're gonna do cigar, and then you do smoking as SMKN. DJ Eli, and yeah, hit me up on there. Hit me up on Instagram. I try to get back to everybody I can. Those are the main two platforms that I kind of roam around and post and do stuff. I have my daily anecdotes of stuff and stuff the cigar people can relate to. I have my Tiny Mike's Mixed Sticks where I merge cigars in a song, and then I have my other stuff that I do with my wife and my family. So yeah, please check me out at Cigar Smoking DJ on Instagram. Smoking is SMKN. But yeah,
His Instagram is a lot of fun. Check it out. It's there's always some good stuff on there every day. There's something on there, and
thank you.
yeah, it's a lot of fun and enjoyable. So, anything else? TX, always glad to see you on here, buddy. We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
TX,
supporting us.
appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate everyone who tuned in tonight. Love having you guys and reading your comments and interacting with you. So
No, it's been an awesome time.
every Tuesday we're here.
This is the place to be.
Yeah, it is. And next week's our Thanksgiving show. We are continuing on. We'll still be here, even though it's a short week. We will be on. I might be by myself. We'll have to see if Marty's traveling, Teddy's working, and we'll have to see if
I'll be on.
Okay, good.
From Portland.
From Portland. There we go. We'll be Chicago via Portland.
Yeah.
It'll be 7:30 this time, 5 and some change Portland time. You can figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be. Where's Marty at? It's like, what? Oh, wait a minute. It's 3:30 in the afternoon here. I didn't realize 3:30 meant 7:30 in Chicago time. So, all right. Well, DJ, we appreciate you being on. It's a great time. We hope you had a good time.
I had a fucking fantastic time. I'm sorry, if I would have known, I shouldn't, my little acid reflux and heartburn's kicking in, and I apologize for the couple interruptions. Hopefully, when you guys have some free time down the road, I would love to join you guys to chit chat and bullshit about cigar stuff anytime. So let me know. And if you guys are short a guy, and if I have the time available on a Tuesday, I have no qualms about hopping on with you guys. Illinois, Chicago, Midwest takes care of each other. So I'm always down. You guys got a great product here. I'm really enjoying it. Everybody in the chat that's already been here, you guys know what's up. Everybody that was new to the chat that was here, 7:30 Tuesdays. This is the place to lock in the Chi-Town Cigar Podcast.
You heard it official from the Drew Estates DJ Eli's giving us the endorsement. Join us on Tuesdays. Marty, close us out, buddy.
All right, everybody. As we head into Thanksgiving season, hope you're prepared to cook your Thanksgiving meals and enjoying. If you struggle during this time, hey, reach out to us and we'll be happy to talk to you, and you're never alone. So till next Tuesday, put some smoke in the air.